Remember, again, sometimes rabbis listen to the students. You didn't like the pizza from one place, so you got it from a different place. Everybody's okay with sandwiches next week. We still want pizza.
Sandwiches.
Okay?
No,
Pizza.
sandwiches.
No more meat. You don't like meat?
Wait, either one.
It's baguette.
Yeah.
Baguette with turkey, with salami.
Pizza.
Vegetables. You want falafel?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, maybe.
Shawarma.
Shawarma's for you. Bring me some
Okay.
money, I'll get you rib
Let's
steak.
start learning. It's not important. Now we're learning Torah.
Exactly. Sushi, we can do that. Yeah, sushi. You want sushi?
Then,
Sushi.
הרב צ'קה בוחצר.
Give me another sushi. Only learning. Okay, guys, so let's do it. If you remember last week, we spoke about commandment number 5, right? The Aseret Adibros, honoring parents. And we went through details that basically the reason for that is that you have to be grateful for the kindness that anybody does to us. You can't just, not care. We got to be grateful. So parents took care of us. We have to honor them. We brought actually a few examples. Number one, even things that are not alive, like waters, the dust. We have to show our appreciation from the story that Moshe couldn't hit the Nile or the sand of Egypt to turn into blood, or frogs to come, or to turn into lice, because they saved his life. You remember that, right? Was a little kid, they put him in a basket on the Nile. When they killed the Egyptian, he hid him under the ground. Then also we said, even if somebody does not intend to do good to you, it just happens that you got to benefit from him. You still have to show your appreciation. We said the story of Yosef and his brother Reuben. Now we're going to go to a new stage. What if somebody, and I'm not clear with this if halacha requires it, but definitely it's a good thing. What if somebody intends to hurt you, but instead of being able to hurt you, something good comes out? Actually, it turned out to be good. I'm going to get a little bit political, right? I really don't like Obama.
Neither do I.
But when he was the president, was actually one of the best times for Israel. Why? Even though he pressured Israel a lot, because he was so incapable with foreign policy, which actually God made it happen that way. So there was the Arab Spring, and the Arabs were busy killing each other. Syria, Lebanon, Libya, Iraq. So they were like Hezbollah was fighting against ISIS. They were basically killing each other. They never attacked Israel those years. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So his intention wasn't good. He wanted, whatever. That's no problem. He wanted whatever. He was very, very, I'm not saying he had a lot of empathy for the Muslim world. He actually sold F-16s to Egypt at that time when the Muslim brothers ruled over it. He had no good intentions, but the best thing happened for Israel those years. Safe, very, very safe. Nobody's. It's my wife's family. Yeah, call it back later. Anyways, so at any rate, So do we have to thank him, for the benefit that we got? So there's a story in the Torah that actually explains it. Very interesting story. The story is that when Moshe Rabbeinu runs away from Egypt, right? He goes to Midian and he's sitting by a well. He wanted to find his shidduch. He said, just like Yaakov stood by the well. By the way, why do you sit by the well? By a pit to find your shidduch. You know what? It's because when you get married, you fall into a pit. No, I'm just kidding. That's not the reason. Because water is Torah. Torah is compared to water. That fire too, right? But water, and therefore your house has to be built on the values of the Torah. But anyways, he's sitting there, and then the Yitro, because he believed in God, everybody excommunicated him. They said nobody could hire himself to work for Yitro. So this poor Yitro had to send his daughters to do the job of being a shepherd. He couldn't hire anybody. So then these girls come to take care of the sheep. The other shepherds hated Yitro. They start, bothering the girls. That's when Moshe Rabbeinu comes and he saves them. They go home very early that day. You're all familiar with the story. I don't have to explain it. And then the father, Yitro, asked them, how come my daughters, they came home so early? It says, well, there was an Egyptian man who saved us. Ish Mitzri Hitzilanu. The Midrash asks, Moshe wasn't an Egyptian. He was a Jew. Even if they thought he's an Egyptian because he had Egyptian clothes, the Torah doesn't have to tell us all the details. The Torah could have said the girls told their father, Ish Hitzilanu, a man saved us. Why is the Torah stressing that he was an Egyptian? An Egyptian man saved us. So one of the answers that are given, it really doesn't go on Moshe Rabbeinu. What it's talking about is they thanked Moshe Moshe said, don't thank me. Thank the Egyptian whom I killed. Now that doesn't make sense. The Medrash brings an example. There was a man that he was bitten by a snake, by some type of an animal. He goes to the river to wash the wound, and he finds a little kid drowning. So he saves the kid. The kid says, thank you for saving me. He says, don't thank me. Thank the snake who bit me. If not for the snake, I wouldn't be here. Same thing here. The girls wanted to thank Moshe. He says, don't thank me. I'm here because of the Egyptian whom I killed. Now, Rab Chaim Shmulevitz says the snake had no intention to save the kid from the river. He just wanted to bite. When that Egyptian got killed, believe me, he wasn't even thinking that one day Moshe is going to go to Midian to meet his future wife. So his intention was evil. He was killing a Jew. He was beating up a Jew. The intention of the snake is to bite. But because something good comes out, you have to show your appreciation. Practically, if God forbid, when you guys get a job later on, that's not a God forbid, that's a good thing. What happens if your boss will fire you? God forbid.
That's God forbid.
Right. And because of that, you get a better job. Either you go to study, you get a better degree, or you actually look for another job.
Fired me.
Oh, so then it's not a bad thing to say, you know what, thank you. If not for you firing me, I wouldn't get a better job. There's actually a lady who's a single mother in our community. She was working for a firm. She's from a Shabbos. She was working for a law firm. An accounting firm. And then that accounting firm was sold to a guy that either wasn't Jewish or wasn't religious. And this lady used to go home at 3 in the afternoon, Fridays, 4 in the afternoon. So the new boss comes and says, either you work Friday till 6 or I'm going to fire you. So she comes to me and says, Rabbi, I only had one daughter and I don't have a husband. Husband passed away. Can I work on Shabbat? I said, listen, I can't tell you to do something that God tells you not to do. But I could tell you one thing. If you don't work, God will provide a new job. So she got fired. And then she actually found a religious firm that actually gave her off Shabbat, holidays, and everything. So I told her, please go call your boss and thank your previous boss. That's one thing that we learn. Even if somebody intends to hurt us, but something good comes out, we have to show our appreciation. One question that I don't have an answer for. Do we owe thanks to Yimach Shemo Hitler? That because of him, the land of Israel was actually materialized after that. God wanted it. It's not that he was anyway. He intended to kill. But if not for that, there would be no land of Israel for us. Do we have to thank him? I really don't know.
It would happen either way, no?
No, because
Hashem could have made.
No, again, understand.
We came up Obama didn't actually do what he wanted.
Right, again, could be. Again, I don't know the halacha, guys. Honestly, I don't know. Let's go to the last one, and then we're gonna have the pizza, guys. Not only that, there's actually interesting halacha, and that is we have to show our appreciation for generations later too. Imagine a Rosh Yeshiva helps you, right? And then you see the grandchild of the Rosh Yeshiva when you're turning 70, but he never did you a favor. His grandfather did you a favor. Do I have to show my gratefulness, my appreciation to him?
Yeah.
Yes, we do. Yes, we do. And you know what I'm saying? That means your children, your grandchildren should thank Valley Torah. Seriously, should support Valley Torah because their parents, their grandparents learned in this school. Where did we learn that from? The story is people, the Torah says, anybody that converts to Judaism, according to halacha, right, you're allowed to marry them, right? Any girl that converts from any nation, any man that converts from any nation, you're allowed to marry them. The Torah says there are two men, two nations, that even if they convert to Judaism, they become Jews, they cannot marry Jewish girls. They're only allowed to marry converts until the end of the world. Obviously, we don't have them anymore because everybody's mixed up. So anybody that converts to Judaism comes from majority, right? You're the Talmid Chachamim. Call the parish Miruba parish. Anybody that comes and separates himself, wants to become a Jew, we say comes from the majority of the world. Majority of the world are not these two nations. These two nations are nation of Ammon and Moab. When there was an Ammon, there was a Moab. If they would convert, they were Jews. That's to keep Torah and mitzvot, but they were only allowed to marry converts.
What about Amalek?
If Amalek you're supposed to kill, but if they actually become a Jew and you don't know they're Amalek, they're allowed to marry anybody. And that's a question, very good question. I'm going to bring it up. The Torah says, why can't you marry Ammon and Moab? Because when the Jews left Egypt, they didn't bring us bread and water. Exactly. Not only that, they bullied us. Good question. Fantastic question. Did any other nation bring us water and bread? No. So why is God picking on these two nations?
Oh,
If everybody's supposed to bring us water, so no nation should marry us. Go ahead.
because you showed them good back in the day.
What did we
You
show?
didn't do a process, so.
Yeah, but what's the Akara Satoib? Who said that? Abraham saved Lot. Lot got saved from Sodom because of Avraham Avinu. Otherwise, he would have died. That's why he wasn't able to look back and see the destruction of Sodom. Rashi says because the angel told him, you were sinful together with the people of Sodom. You're only getting saved because of Abraham. You can't look back and see their punishment and you get saved. So you can't turn back. And because his wife turned back, she turned into a pillar of salt, correct?
Yeah.
So now, 400 years later, after the story of Abraham, the Jewish people are coming out of Egypt. Nobody else got saved because of Abraham. They should have shown their appreciation to the Jews and bring them free bread and water for Abraham saving them 400 years ago. And because they didn't, they can't be part of the Jewish nation. We learn two things. The Ramban says. Number one, appreciation goes for generations later. Even your kids and your grandkids have to show the appreciation for Valley Torah. Number two, somebody, as a general rule, never shows any appreciation, they cannot be part of the Jewish people. Thank you for listening, people. Please, guys, thanks.